Every marathon season, we hear it. A runner collapses, a cardiac arrest on course, and it shakes the whole community. But how common is it really? I'm joined today by Shona Hendricks, sports scientist, strength and conditioning coach, and creator of our female athlete program here at Coach Parry. And we're going to unpack the truth behind cardiac arrest in endurance running. Shona, let's start here. How worried should we actually be?
I mean, not panicked, Linz, but really we need to be aware. Exercise is still one of the best things you can do for your health. But during the hour that you're actually exercising, your risk of cardiac problem is higher than the other 23 hours of the day, especially if you're over 45 or if you have risk factors like blood pressure or cholesterol. So to put it into perspective, sudden cardiac death during endurance races is about 1 in 100,000. Cardiac arrest, where a runner collapses but is resuscitated, is roughly 1 in 50,000. And 1 in 50 runners ends up needing medical help in the race tents. So let's put those numbers into perspective. If we are all runners and we run the World Marathon Majors, and generally New York or London, there are around 50,000 runners in those races. And so that on average essentially means that one runner per one of those races is resuscitated. And one runner, on average, between two of those marathons passes away or dies. So yes, that's not rare. It is just preventable.
That's the big takeaway, right? It's not about fear, it's about prevention. Let's talk about who's most at risk.
So essentially, there are three main groups. So firstly, age and history. So males over the age of 45 and females over the age of 55, or anyone with heart disease or a strong family history of heart disease. Factor number 2 are risk factors of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, smoking, or being on certain medications. And the third one, which are situational risks, are things like recent illness, lack of recovery, overtraining, or factors that could be like racing in the heat. When two or more of those issues overlap, that's really when these problems start to show up. And we see it so often with our athletes who have been training for so long for an event and suddenly get sick on race day and they decide to race anyway. And there's a really, really big inherent risk with that. And I know it's difficult that once you've done all that work and you get to the race and you've invested obviously time and money, it's really tough to make that call. But honestly, it's just not worth the risk.
So it's not random. There are patterns. Before we go into the checklist, let's clear up what actually causes these incidents.
Yeah, definitely. In older runners, it's most often coronary artery disease, blocked heart vessels. In younger athletes, it's usually inherited structural or electrical issues. But there's also a long list of non-cardiac causes that can still land runners in serious trouble. One of them is hyponatremia, which is drinking too much water and which essentially flushes out your sodium levels. Heat illness is another one, acute kidney stress is another one, and post-finish collapse, or what we call stop and drop. You finish hard, you stop straight away, and the blood pools in your legs, you get dizzy or faints because the heart's still kind of catching up.
That's why the medical tents are so full after big races. Let's talk about hyponatremia, because runners are told to stay hydrated, and we've kind of overdone it.
Yeah, the researchers used to say previously that we really need to drink all the time. And we used to specify, how much you have to drink. But now we know better. And the science has caught up. And so really we don't need to be doing that much drinking all the time. Losing 2 to 3% of your body weight after long races is completely normal. It's just fuel and water loss. And so if you drink so much that your weight stays the same or goes up, you're overhydrating. That dilutes your blood sodium and your body starts to swell, puffy fingers, nausea, headaches, even confusion. And so the simple rule is drink to thirst. Your body's thirst signal is far more accurate than any chart or spreadsheet or specific number.
And for clarity, dehydration is uncomfortable, but hyponatremia can actually be fatal, right?
Yes, absolutely. And dehydration slows you down, yes, but hyponatremia can shut you down. And so if you're finishing heavier than you started, you're definitely drinking too much.
Let's jump into medication. Anti-inflammatories, they're everywhere on race day. Why are they risky?
I just can't tell you, Linz, how many times I've been running races and the number of times I've seen runners accept pills from random strangers on the road really just blows my mind. And they are so dangerous because they block the very systems that your kidneys need to stay balanced. During long races, your kidneys work overtime to control fluid and salt levels. add in anti-inflammatories, and that regulation breaks down. It's a dangerous mix: heat, distance, stress, and anti-inflammatories. And it's not just the kidneys. They can irritate your stomach, raise blood pressure, even affect heart rhythm. So the rule: if you need anti-inflammatories to start, you probably don't need the start line.
I like that. If you need the meds, you don't need the start line. Try selling that to runners. All right, let's talk about what to look out for. What are the red flag symptoms runners should never push through?
Yeah, these are the big ones: new or unusual chest tightness or pressure, shortness of breath that doesn't really match your efforts of work, heart palpitations or dizziness, or extreme fatigue that's out of proportion to your training. And here's the one we see all the time: racing when you're sick. Even a mild viral infection can inflame the heart, which is what we call myocarditis. So if you wake up with body aches, fever, chest tightness, or a sore throat, skip the run. That's when cardiac arrest can happen.
That's such an important point. It's not mental toughness, it's just risk. Okay, Shona, let's give everyone a practical plan. What does a safe, race-ready week look like?
All right, so here's your 7-day race-ready checklist. Know your numbers: blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose. And if you're over 45 for men or 55 for women, have any of those risk factors, make sure that you get an annual medical with a stress ECG and tell your doctor that you run. The second is no illness. If you're even mildly sick, sit it out. There is always another race. Third one is fuel properly. Don't start on empty. Eat something familiar like oats, banana, nut butters before you run. Make sure that you hydrate smart. Drink to thirst. Accept some weight loss. It's normal. In your race, make sure that you pace early and don't chase early. Run the first third conservatively. That's essentially your insurance policy. Skip the meds. No anti-inflammatories on race week or race day. And then keep moving at the finish. Walk a few minutes before you sit down, and that prevents that stop and drop.
That's brilliant. Short, clear, actionable. Now, you've always said strength training isn't just about injury prevention, it's heart health too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Stronger muscles means better circulation, lower blood pressure, improved heart rate recovery, and you can handle load without overstressing your system. And that's why we've created our free strength training for runners class, specifically for runners over 40 and 50. You can do it at home with minimal equipment, and it'll change how you recover and how your heart performs. The link's just below, or scan the QR code on the screen.
Before we wrap up, let's give them that hydration practice you mentioned earlier. This is the easiest way to dial in your personal hydration range.
Yes, this is simple and it'll save you from guessing on race day. Next long run, here's what you do. Weigh yourself before and then within 10 minutes after your run. Note what you drank, how you felt, and the weather. And if you've lost 2 to 3% of your body weight, that's perfect. If your weight is up or your fingers feel swollen, you drank too much. Run that test 2 or 3 times before race week and you'll know exactly how much hydration your body needs.
That's great. All right. Quick myth busting before we close. Myth 1, more water prevents cramps. Myth 2, if I feel fine, I am fine. Both wrong, right?
Both are completely wrong. Cramps are about muscle fiber cross-bridge fatigue and pacing, not your hydration. So that's got to do with how your muscles are pulling together and contracting. And feeling fine just means that you're not feeling the problem yet. Or there could still be a viral load that you're not really aware of. And that's why testing, screening, and proper recovery matters so much.
Here's the truth. Cardiac arrest in endurance races is rare, but medical emergencies are common, and almost all of them are preventable. Screen early, recover properly, hydrate to thirst, build strength, and run smart.
Exactly. You don't need to fear the start line, you just need to respect it. And if you want to learn how to get faster without pushing your limits too far, watch the next video on screen now.